Hey everyone, it's Mark. Welcome to Onyx Training Table. I want to talk to you today about an event that happened a couple months ago now in New Mexico, down by the border, down by Las Cruces, I believe. And it was the murder of New Mexico State Trooper Darion Jarrett. What happened to him shouldn't have happened. And I believe that it is up to us in law enforcement to learn when an officer gives their life, like Trooper Jarrett did. We need to learn from the good and the bad in that, so that we can improve our performance and keep future officers safer. So as I talk about this, I'm not putting down Trooper Jarrett at all. I think we can learn from this, and as a trainer, there are a few takeaways that I saw that I think can keep that from happening in the future. So Trooper Jarrett initiated a traffic stop on a person who was apparently on their way to do a drug deal, and I would presume a large-scale drug deal. The suspect was in a single cab pickup truck, and Trooper Jarrett approached him and then wanted the suspect out of the vehicle in order to, as Jarrett said, to do his paperwork, because the suspect apparently didn't have a physical driver's license with him, and so he was going to run a computer check and get his ID and picture there. So he wanted the suspect out of the vehicle. I understand that. And here's what I want to talk about as far as this. I'm going to talk about anything other than control and the OODA loop. So first on control, I understand Trooper Jarrett was trying to control the suspect and he wanted to control the weapon. That makes sense. That's a good thing to do. The issue is he had two separate situations and he combined them. And that's where the problem happened, is because he said when he wanted to get the suspect, Cueva, out of the vehicle, he said, I see the gun. First he said, do you have a weapon? And he said, I see the weapon. Can I have it to secure it for my safety? Well, I think that's the problem, is what he essentially did was he made Cueva a part of the weapon securing situation. Cueva's a suspect. Something to consider is, I understand, get the suspect, but in this case, I want the suspect away from the weapon. It's not attached to him. It's not a pistol in a holster. It's not slung over him. It's separate. All he's got to do is not touch it, and that weapon is not going to hurt anybody, right? So what I believe happened, what it appeared from what I saw in the video and what was said by the trooper, is that he combined the two situations. He then, what he did was he put the weapon control ahead of the suspect control. And so my thing is, and has always been, and I used to teach, is if I want to control people and there's a weapon and there's a suspect, I want to control the suspect first. I never like doing the pat downs where you do this, pat down first. If I'm going to arrest you, we're going to get you in cuffs and then I'm going to pat you down. I want your hands secure. I don't want to fight with you. If I'm not going to arrest you or I'm not sure yet, then fine, I'm not even going to pat you down. If you got a weapon hidden inside a jacket or something like that, I want to see you start reaching for it. I don't want to start pulling it out and then now we start fighting and I've got this unsecured weapon out. So that's what I think happened. Was the problem is that the first problem was that he combined those two situations and then put the weapon control ahead of the subject control. He had a very dangerous subject. I want to control him first, then I'll control the weapon. I understand that there's a lot of training that is the opposite. We're going to control the weapon, then the suspect. But my thing is, if you have two uncontrolled things, what's the worst? The worst is the suspect, because the suspect handles the weapon. The suspect is thinking. The weapon is just an inanimate object. So I want the mastermind, I want the control center secured first. Then I'll get the weapon that is not going to hurt me just sitting on the ground. Secondly, the OODA loop. What I think happened is when he essentially made the suspect part of the weapon control process. The suspect got out of the car with the weapon. OODA loop. Suspect's OODA loop. Observe. I'm about to be in trouble. I got a warrant for my arrest, or I'm a criminal. I do criminal things. Something. I'm going to a drug deal. He's going to find out I'm in trouble. Observe that. Orient. I've got to solve this. What's the way to solve this? I'm a criminal. I don't think straight. I don't mind hurting somebody. I shoot him. Decide, I'm going to shoot him, and then he did. So he got out of the car, and you see in the video, he's just standing there. He just raises the rifle and fires. OODA loop. Trooper Jarrett. Can I secure the weapon? All right. He's bringing me the weapon. So that's where his OODA loop is. The whole time he's getting out of the car, I'm getting the weapon, I'm going to secure the weapon. The suspect's now raising the rifle, the OODA loop. Observe. He's raising the weapon towards me. That's a threat. Orient. What do I need to do? I need to get out of the line of fire. I'm behind the OODA loop. Decide. I'm taking a step back, and he started to fall. He gets shot, and then the suspect came around and shot him some more. So we have to think about those when we're training people, especially control, subject control, weapon control. Which one wants to come first? They have to happen in sequence. They can't happen at the same time. One has to happen then the other. We may think we're doing it at the same time, but we do nothing at the same time. Multitasking is a fallacy. It's wrong. We can't do it. We can do things in quick succession, but we can only do one thing at a time. And so my thing is if I've got suspect and weapon control, I'm going to control the suspect first because that's what uses the weapon. The weapon doesn't hurt me on its own. OODA loop. We've got to think about that. So here's my thought, one option. When the trooper comes up, he sees it, he wants control. Sir, can you step out of the vehicle? I see the weapon there. Do not reach for it. Do not touch it. Leave it there. It's okay. Don't touch it. If you touch it, I will see that as a threat because I've told him don't touch it expressly. I want no confusion. I want no ambiguity. I want him to understand exactly what I want him to do. So anything outside of that shows non-compliance. Anything outside of that shows that he's a threat. Non-compliance and a threat equal. Now I use some sort of force. Okay? So we have to keep that straight. We have to remember that kind of stuff. Control. I'm going to put the subject first. OODA loop. I got to think about where am I going to be in the OODA loop? Where's the suspect in the OODA loop? Okay? You have a lot more considerations to make as a law enforcement officer than a suspect has to make in any situation where it comes to using force. So, remember, I'm not putting Trooper Jarrett down, but he did pay the ultimate price to show us lessons that we can learn from to keep us safer. And if we don't pay attention and we don't take those lessons and learn from them, then we're not doing a service to him and his memory. We're doing a disservice to him. So, hopefully you got something from that. Understand what I'm talking about with it. If not, email me, hit me up with questions, mneal@onyxtg.com. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And thank you for tuning in to Onyx Training Table.